Shall we do this?
Yeah, click record, just whenever you want to start.
Okay. Hey guys, Harrison, back at it once again with a brand new video for you, and welcome to Dre Talks, the series where I play games I don't normally play while talking about topics that aren't necessarily sporting related. This is a first on Dre Talks. I have a special guest. Introduce yourself, good sir.
Hey there guys, it's Aarava here, and very excited to be here on Dre Talks. I'm avid watcher of Dre Talks, and yeah, I'm not really used to the whole kind of long commentary thing, but we'll see how it goes, and we've got quite a good topic today.
Yeah, like, this is the first time I've ever had a guest on this show. You should be honoured by your presence here.
Humbled.
Because this is normally my damn show. So, to have a guest on like this is quite special, but I thought it was something that was worth talking about, and to have a fellow YouTuber in a similar kind of situation in terms of channel size to mine, and just so we can bounce ideas off each other, I thought it would be quite a good idea. So, overall, this topic is going to be talking about the recent big announcements of the YouTube content changes and the content ID change, which are coming forth in January, but have seemed to have been affected a little bit earlier. I mean, I know a lot of bigger channels have been heavily affected by this. I know the Angry Joe show is a prime example of a show that has been that has been largely affected, and people have been caught out. But I'll let Aarava talk about the main changes that have happened, because he seems to know a little bit more about it than I do.
Yeah, so yeah, what's been going on right now is a lot of people are getting hit with content IDs. So if you don't know what that means, is basically YouTube kind of just sides through everyone's videos, and then kind of just it's got some software that picks up some audio. Right now, just audio. Soon it might turn to video, which will be even worse for pretty much every single gaming channel out there on YouTube. Right now, it's just audio. So literally, like, people who are getting caught out, or even people who just do Gran Turismo 6 kind of videos, the background music, even though the Gran Turismo, the developers have got that music licensed for their game, YouTube software, being as brilliant as it is, picks it up and claims a video. And so basically, it takes your adverts off, and you don't make any money off that video. Any ad revenue on that video goes straight back to the person YouTube believes owns the content. But that sounds fair enough. But the thing is, it's going too far as getting it wrong. As sometimes, especially with the case of Angry Joe and also people like NerdCubed, some of their videos are getting picked up, and there's the kind of YouTube relays back to them and says, oh, this is owned by, and then insert random company name. In the case of NerdCubed, he actually had he did a Let's Play of the Olympics game, 2012 Olympics game, and basically the company had the same cutscene as he had in his Let's Play, because it does the same cutscene, obviously, and the company had had the same exact one, and YouTube picked that up and said it's owned by that company, even though they're both just recording a game.
And the worst part is it seems to be bypassing all the gaming developers that actually make the games themselves, because it's one of those situations where a lot of developers, including the guys we work with at Codemasters, obviously, and other big developers like Ubisoft and Capcom have come out and said, no, this wasn't us. YouTube seems to have completely bypassed these developers that actually make and license these games and allow their music and content to be uploaded onto YouTube. YouTube seems to have completely bypassed those and have gone straight to the bigger music firms, who they believe own all this content, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to kind of do fair play and go, yep, that's owned by that person, and he hasn't kind of said out loud that you can use it. But if you're just kind of not even asking companies, like, YouTube hasn't asked, hasn't gone to like the creators of Gran Turismo 6 and gone, these guys are using your game, and they're using the audio that you paid for to have in your game. Do you want the money from that or anything like that? They're not even doing that. They're just kind of going, oh, this music, we picked it up somewhere else on the internet from this company. Now therefore they own it, so they should get all the money that you're going to earn from your hard work video that you've done, kind of editing, whatnot, countless hours going in, and then you get no kind of payback from that. So it's not going well at the moment, and there's some more changes coming later on in January, which basically is going to mean that the networks are basically trying to protect themselves now. It's changing a lot, because over the last year, networks have been getting a bit of fickle with lawyers and everything like that, because companies going after them, going, all your gaming people, what they're doing, some of it is a bit of an issue. So channels are trying to protect, networks are trying to protect themselves, and by trying to protect themselves, what they're trying to do is split channels up into affiliates and managed channels. Now, if you don't know what they are, so managed channels are going to be just like now. They won't have any problem. It'll be like normal YouTube managed channels, but literally the amount of managed channels are so tiny. You either need to be like a syndicate who's friends with all the machinima people, or like PewDiePie, who's just so big and bigger than networks themselves, or you just need to be really close with the network you're with to kind of get managed.
Yeah, it seems to be a matter of trust here, because that's what this is what this matter is all about. And any managed network, because basically, to be honest here, YouTube's content ID is the main focus of their attack is on multi-channel networks like Machinima, like Fullscreen, like Polaris, etc., who have all these massive amount of channels under their network. And as Arav pointed out, the numbers of channels that seem like they're going to be managed affiliates is seeming to be very, very low indeed. Because I think this is a way that right now the bigger networks like Machinima, who I'm sponsored by, for example, are seeming to be washing their hands of any responsibility here and letting us the content creators take the rap for these new changes.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what the affiliate's going to be like. Like you said, we're going to take the hit for it. So pretty much everyone, apart from these few channels, are affiliates. And when I'm talking about everyone, I mean even the people you would think that would be managed channels, like NerdCube, like over 1 million subscribers. He's an affiliate. It's not going to get managed. He's hoping that he gets managed soon, but at the moment he's affiliate. He's just like the rest of us. And basically what that means is we don't get any sort of protection from the networks. They're basically just passing it on. They're just like, they get the message and they just pass it on. They don't do anything. They don't try to protect you in any way if you're an affiliate channel. And the problem is they're still taking the same cut. The contract you signed at the beginning, depending on if it's a CPM contract or a percentage one, whichever one it was, they're not like, reducing the amount they take from your cut or giving you more CPM percentage. They're just keeping it the same, and they're saying in your contract, we're going to provide you with services that they're not really providing anymore, because they're not doing anything to help you out in battling the content claims. Basically, it's more worth for you just to quit the network and do the content claims kind of thing by yourself through Google AdSense, because it's the same exact thing. Instead of like losing a percentage of your cut, you're getting 100% of what you should be earning.
Yeah, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you on this one. I've been a Machinima director now for over a year. I signed that deal in September 2012, and the company has done next to nothing besides send partner-based emails now and again, telling us how wonderful they are, sending us caption competitions, and telling us a few basic rules here and there. But besides that, the company's done next to nothing, and I get a lot less money from them than when I was with Google AdSense and my channel was growing and I only had about 1,500 subs. So it's one of those things where I know a lot of people are probably going to leave networks, because now YouTube has an option on their channel where I think they now have a button where you can actually leave their network now. I'm just trying to find it now on here, but I believe in the advanced settings you can actually go straight in and say, we can walk away. You can break a link on the channel almost immediately like that. So it's one of those things where it's the networks basically, like I said, washing their hands of any responsibility here towards the situation or towards the problem, and letting us take the fall for it. And that's a little bit unfair, quite frankly. Because in fact, I think it's very unfair.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop there. So basically, we've already talked about the affiliate kind of thing and the managed thing. So what in terms of like the content ID stuff, it's not just the fact that you have to go through, and the networks sometimes don't block content claims, so you don't get all the money you're getting. In January, the system is going to go fully operational, and it's going to be a case where YouTube have told networks that it could take up to 3 days to do the whole scything process through your video. So basically, if you upload a video, it's going to take 3 days for YouTube to say, yep, that's all good, no copyrights there, and now you can put ads on it. So YouTube have recommended that from January, you start uploading your videos 3 days in advance, leaving it unlisted, and let them side through it and say okay now. And once they've put the okay on it, then you make it public, which means you have to plan everything 3 days in advance, which is not the best idea for most channels out there. Most channels you see kind of, because most big channels, at least, who are going to be affiliates and not managed, they do it as a job. So they would make the video on the day and upload on the day. Now they're going to have to kind of schedule it. They can't even schedule upload. You have to upload it properly, unlisted, and then leave it there for 3 days, and it may or may not get the okay, which is just going to throw everything out of the whack, really.
Yeah, for most YouTubers, that's just not possible. I mean, especially the Let's Players, which just seems to be affecting the most. Telling a YouTuber, like I said, who's working as a full-time job, to upload your video 3 days in advance and have it sit there while it does nothing, while YouTube sorts out the processing for it, is absolutely ridiculous. Why should we have to upload videos off our own back and then have to wait 3 days for them to sort it out? I mean, that's not right. Like, why has it got to be so complicated on YouTube, where we have to deliberately hold ourselves back by uploading things earlier and planning things out in advance just so that you can fix your shitty system? I mean, it's it's us taking the fall for other people's incompetence. And I remember watching Total Biscuit's video blog about this, it's called YouTube Needs Chemo. I highly recommend you guys go out and see it. I might put a link in the description for that. And the first 15 minutes are absolutely brilliant. It's eloquent, it's well spoken, and it's absolutely what I was thinking about YouTube in general. And yes, it was more to do with the new comment system and all that, rather than the content ID changes at all. But the thing is, it's really, really irritating, because it's like we're fighting the website that we deliberately upload content for in the first place. We should not be fighting a battle with YouTube. We should be holding hands and making money together. It's one of those things where it feels like we're going from London to Australia, but by going the other way around. It just seems really frustrating to me.
Yeah, it's sort of like, I'm gonna liken it to, if you had like a normal desk job, it's like if your boss came in and just went, all right, so yeah, you can't have this nice spacious desk, you can't have this nice comfy chair, even though you're working 8 hours a day on the desk. You're gonna have a crappy little stool, and you're gonna have another stool for your laptop, and that's about it. And you can't have any lunch breaks or anything like that. And it's like that, and you're trying to fight back against them, saying, no, this is not fair, blah blah blah, we want this, I want a proper desk because I'm working quite hard for it. It's like that. You work, most of these people are working, uploading videos every day, working hard, making content. It takes a lot of hours to make videos, especially for people maybe who don't have amazing equipment, or maybe do like mega edits. And the website they're uploading to is not helping them at all. It's making it worse. I mean, and on top of all this, we've talked about content claims, the 3-day thing not being kind of done, not earning revenue off some videos. On top of that, as I said, the managed channels are completely fine. They're like normal YouTube, like, the past year. And that means that on any sort of new game that comes out, or new anything that comes out, they get a three-day head start on exclusives. If a new game comes out, they can upload 3 days in advance of any other person who's just an affiliate. So they get exclusives to everything, which is basically the same thing that's been happening for the last, 4 years. The big get bigger, and the small people stay small.
Unfortunately, this just seems to be how smart business tends to be. I mean, if you're example, if you're in charge of a franchise like Marks and Spencer, and you have 50 locations worldwide, and you're going to focus on the ones that are making the most profit, and that's just how business works, unfortunately. And as usual, when it comes to YouTube, it sucks to be the little guy. And I've always told people that right now, to be honest, that you could not have chosen a worse time to be starting on YouTube, because one, it's harder than ever to break the glass ceiling and to get your channel rolling in subscribers, like TM Marduk's Hacks does now and again. But overall, it's a situation which definitely favors the big guys. It's one of those things where, like, the community was up in arms earlier this year when 4 Guys got F1 2013 early, and they had a 3-day head start on everybody else, and a lot of people called foul on that. And it's a shitty situation for other guys and smaller people within communities, but it's just the sad reality that YouTube is going to focus on people that make the most money. When you have guys like PewDiePie getting 100,000 subscribers a day, you're going to zoom in on guys like that, because it's in your best interest to make the most money. It's just kind of the sad reality of it all, really.
Yeah, and all of this, it doesn't help all the kind of medium-sized channels. And when I say medium-sized, I'm talking about, like, let's say 80k subs to all the way up to, just like, I think you could call a mid-sized channel now around about like 1.5 million, like all the way up to there. People are getting hit and getting struggles. You have people like Game Riot, who sort of was part of the F1 community, now does Let's Plays more. People like Game Riot, people like your favorite COD players or FIFA channels, something like that. Apart from like the ridiculous KSI channels, but people like that, NerdCube and stuff like that. Those guys who are affiliates and getting hit with all this stuff, who do it as a day job, they're gonna get really, really hurt. It's gonna really squeeze them in terms of getting enough money to pay the bills, to put food on the table and whatnot. Because first off, straight off the bat, the amount of money they earn, 45% gets taken by YouTube, and now on top of that, they're getting hit by the fact that they could not make any money on it if their thing gets content ID'd, and also the fact that their video won't get as many views because they're going to be 3 days later than everyone else. It's like always in this new series, the first video always gets the most views. It's the same thing like that. They're going to lose a whole lot of potential revenue that could see them comfortably through the month for, food-wise and bill-wise. They're now having to kind of maybe possibly get a part-time job on top of YouTube, or maybe even just quit altogether if they just can't scratch enough, dough.
Yep, exactly. It's one of those situations as well where it reminds me a lot of people again called him foul when Athlete got a hold of F1 2012 3 days early just because he was American, and his channel absolutely blew up after that. And yeah, part of that was down to him producing fantastic content when he was a part of the F1 community, but a lot of that comes down to having that 3-day head start, and it's something that is going to affect those affiliate partners even more now, because the gap is going to be ever growing, and that's something that's going to hurt them in the long run. YouTube is going to be a situation where it's going to be the haves and the have-nots very soon, especially when it comes to gaming channels, who right now are taking up the biggest market share of any YouTube channel out there, besides maybe the Vivo channels out there of all these musicians and whatnot. I mean, let's put it this way: the #1 channel on YouTube is a gaming channel, so that should tell you all you need to know about the situation. Yeah,
even with that stat, YouTube just doesn't want to look at the stats and go, yes, that's the way to roll. The changes in January, we don't know how bad they're going to be, so no one can really tell, but it's looking like they're going to be bad enough that, many Let's Play channels won't be able to function because the content ID claims will be that bad in some cases where you can't even upload the game, and that's like content ID. It's like YouTube wants everyone to be like vloggers, or people who like do how to make this or how to do this or something like that. They don't want gaming channels in general, even though as he said, Dre, the #1 guy is PewDiePie. I mean, even take a look at YouTube Rewind that YouTube made. There's only one gamer in there, which is PewDiePie, and he was like a little cameo at the end. Everyone else were vloggers. So YouTube just is going that general trend, which is weird because, as Dre said, the stats all add up. Gaming makes up the majority sector here, and it's just a bit weird that they're not even looking at that.
They should be embracing people like us. They really should, because we're growing at a ridiculous rate, these gaming channels now. I mean, when GTA 5 came out, Game Right had like 20,000 subs. He's now got nearly 150,000 ever since that game came out, and he's become one of the perennial Let's Players on YouTube now. So it's one of those situations where you'd think if YouTube wanted to maximize their profits and make the most money, they should be working with us rather than against us to try, and so we can all grow together, rather than have certain channels be held back purely as a result of big big corporations trying to pull rank by having these ridiculous content ID claims, when the developers and us all want us to get free publicity, get our work out there, and for us all to make a lot of money.
Yeah, and it's like we've mentioned money quite a lot, but at the end of the day as well, like if you just took the money away, it's still not good. Like they're still not doing a lot to help passionate people who are making videos because they love it. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Most of well, pretty much all of us F1 Community Aarava, maybe Into the Barrier, we probably don't make near enough to make a living off it, but
nowhere close.
Yeah, exactly. So in terms of that, we're primarily doing it just for the love of it, just for the heck of it, and maybe just earning a tiny bit of pocket money on the side to maybe get a few things here and there. But the majority, obviously, they make enough to make a living off it. All the massive mid-range channels. So for them, it's a real big kind of like, oh my god, this is my livelihood, might be gone. But even going back, if you took the money out of the way, it's still not good, because you've got a website that's started off going, yeah, it's all really fun. You can be passionate, you can share videos with people, you can create a nice community. And what they're doing is they're just chucking a whole lot of stuff that no one wants and it's not helping. We mentioned the comment system before. That's a whole load of crap. I mean, that's literally the worst thing in the world. They called it Google Plus integration. It's not integration.
No. What it's really called is shoving Google Plus down our throats so that we can't have a functioning comment board without having a Google Plus account, which is absolutely ridiculous.
It's like hostile takeover. They're sort of like, do you want to comment on your favorite YouTubers' videos? Well, you're gonna have to get a Google Plus to do that, or you can comment and you won't get replied to. If someone comments on my video or Dre's video and doesn't have Google Plus, we can't comment back to them. We have to put a separate comment going, if you can read this, I can't reply to your comment, but this is what I think, blah, 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 blah. So it's just stupid. And now the way Google Plus works is, I've signed up to Google Plus, and if you look on the top right-hand corner and your channel thing, I've got 2 different sort of email accounts. I've got the kind of YouTube one, which is my YouTube channel, and then a dead one, which is just the Google Plus one, which is just there. And it's just hovering there, and it doesn't do anything. It doesn't have a channel of its own. It's just there, and people can add you on their circles, but no one uses it.
It's completely inconvenient. There's no reason for that to exist, and it's YouTube is just trying to force the whole Google Plus integration down us, because I mean it shouldn't get to a point where you can't do YouTube properly without a Google Plus account. That is. Don't get me wrong, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring together all their services on the one account. However, when the one account is already flawed in the first place, it just highlights the problem with the whole system. Yeah,
I mean, there are so many problems that they could have fixed, but no, they went and, kind of merged everything together. They're like doing the same thing that, Microsoft have been doing with Windows platform, Windows 8. They've tried to do a kind of whole, it's the same OS interface and looks the exact same, whether it's on your computer, your phone, or your TV. They're doing the same thing here. They're like, oh, Google Plus. It's like watching YouTube videos, but also interacting with your friends and doing that and that. It's like, it's a social media they've created that no one wants to use. And to make people use it, they're like holding you at gunpoint going, you use Google Plus, or you're going to lose your channel. Because in some cases, you can't access your channel if you don't opt into Google Plus. You can just lose it. It's still there, but you can't access it if you don't have Google Plus in some cases.
Yeah, and going back to the money thing one last time before we wrap this up, people have often said to me, Dre, you have nearly 4,000 subscribers. What the fuck are you complaining about? Considering you're in a decent position. PewDiePie has 15 million subscribers. This channel is 25,000 times bigger than mine. My last machinima paycheck came to $15. You really think I'm doing this for the money? I mean, I'm being real with you here, guys, okay? I mean, most people don't even talk about what they earn on YouTube. I don't really care, okay? Because at worst, they get rid of me and I'm back on Google and I'm probably making more money anyway. It's like I said, my machinima paycheck, my last paycheck was $15. I don't care about the money. I do this to entertain you people out there watching. And
Yeah, like
it's not even a money factor for many of us on YouTube, especially within some of us in the F1 community, because I think only 3 people have more than 10,000 subscribers who are still active, and that's Zafro, Marduk, and Into the Barrier, who uploads about once every month these days. I mean, it's one of those situations where none of us are making comfortable money to be able to live off this stuff. So the minor things irritate us more because we haven't got money to fall back on. It's like if we were making enough money to live comfortably, I don't think we'd be complaining about this as much as we are now. Because considering we're not doing this for the money, our motivation comes from YouTube running a decent site for us to give back to you. If YouTube, the guys that should be having this Loctite website without these issues, it makes it worse because we have less motivation to do things like this.
Yeah.
That's how I see it anyway.
It's in terms of the money, it's like it's enough to get a Christmas stocking or something, you know, like a Christmas stocking filler. Exactly. You know, it's like, you know, it's like enough money to get some sweets from a shop. It's not anything at all. And in terms of going back to the problems, I mean, there's so many problems they could have fixed, and no, they spend their time putting all this useless stuff like Google Plus and then kind of going with this really horrible content ID system, which is just going to hurt everything even more. I mean, the list is like so big, you know. They need to fix the sub boxes. I mean, they break about every month and consistently don't work anyway. But every month they break so much that I'm getting videos that were uploaded 3 days ago in my sub box.
YouTube sub boxes have been flawed for about 3 years now.
Yeah.
I mean, and they still haven't fixed that problem properly, because every time there's a new update or every time where they think they've solved the problem, it goes back to the way it was in about a week.
It's just like it's like if you're a small channel and you're watching this and you see other channels and you're like, how did he get that many views? He's about the same size as me. It's pretty much luck. It's luck if your video gets seen by the amount of people you have subscribed to you. You know, it's pure luck really on the day if it comes up in their sub box. If it doesn't come up in their sub box, they can't do anything. I mean, what's the likelihood of them checking your channel like on the channel page to see if you uploaded? Unless you
Slim.
Yeah, unless they themselves have only 5 subscriptions and are really into your content, they won't check your channel individually. They'll just look at the sub box and it's not there. On top of the sub box is, you know, a whole lot of other stuff that needs to be just worked out. You know, processing times are so slow now on YouTube, and also the condensing thing, the way they condense videos just makes every video look the same. You can't tell the difference now between PS4 and Xbox One gameplay and PS3 and Xbox 360 gameplay in terms of actual graphics. You can tell it looks smoother and everything like that, but it still runs at 30 FPS, and the condensing makes certain edges look jaggedy, and this is all after like about an hour of processing or something like that.
Yeah, we could go on about this for another half hour if we really wanted to.
Yeah.
But you guys get the gist of it, and I'm sure video makers who are watching this, which I know many of you are, will probably already know this. But as always, comment below. Would love to hear you guys' opinions on this kind of thing, because obviously I'm a man of the people, and I like hearing opinions on these kind of things, and I know you guys are always good for that. But let's be real here. YouTube is a frustrating time right now, and there's never been a more frustrating time to be a YouTuber, especially if you're one of those guys like us, or anywhere between maybe 5 and 50,000 subscribers or so. It's going to be a difficult time for all of us right now, but hopefully we'll ride out this storm. I want to say a massive thank you to Ara for being on the show today. I definitely want to do more of these dual commentaries in the future. If you guys liked what you heard, feel free to leave a thumbs up and go over and subscribe to Araf's channel. He does a brilliant job with Formula 1 2013 content. He's funny. He does quality commentaries. I don't know how he does Formula PlayStation by himself like that in terms of commentaries, and madman. But go subscribe to him if you haven't already. If you're subbed to me, you probably already have already. But if you haven't, go over there and give him a shot. You know, we Greenfield guys have to stick together. So through these tough, difficult YouTube times. But again, thanks again to Ara for coming on the show, and again, thanks everybody for watching. Ara, any last words, Ara?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for those kind words. It's been great, you know, making this commentary. And yeah, I mean, guys, we've said a lot of stuff, and I know it might seem like we're being a bit moany, but this kind of affects something that We're just doing for the passion of it, and at the end of the day, that's quite frustrating. And it's quite frustrating to kind of have thoughts in your mind going, I might need to think of another website to use in maybe a year. That's not a happy thought. So yeah, that's just what I want to leave with you guys. But yeah, it's been fun to do it. Yeah, as Dre said, give it a like if you enjoyed it, and yeah, I mean, if you've come here from my channel and I've tweeted about this video, sub to Dre if you haven't as well. And yeah, it's been really fun to be on this show. And as you said at the beginning of the Dre, I've been honoured to be on Dre Talks, the first guest. I bow down.
Hopefully there'll be more to come, because I know a lot of guys have asked me about this in the past, and I've always wanted to do it. I've just never had a chance to get around to doing it. I'm thinking about doing a season review and bringing on a certain Australian YouTuber I know. Hold that thought.
The hacks.
Hold that thought. But in the meantime, I've been Harrison101. He's been Aarava. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Sayonara.